Have you ever been told that carbs are the reason you can't lose weight? That eating bread, pasta, or rice is the fastest way to pack on fat? This belief has fueled diet trends like keto and low carb and carnivore for years. But does the science actually support it? From Wits and Weights, I'm Philip Pape, and this is Nutrition Science Daily, bringing you the latest in nutrition, fat loss, and health science all in under 5 minutes. Welcome to day 1 of 5 days of nutrition myths, and we're starting with everyone's favorite enemy, carbs. Now, the idea that carbs make you fat usually comes from 2 claims. One, that eating carbs spikes insulin, which supposedly locks fat into storage, and 2, that cutting carbs is the only way to burn fat efficiently. But the problem is neither of these is backed by the science. A recent study published in Nature found no direct link between carbohydrate intake and weight gain. Instead, weight gain happens when, guess what? Total calorie intake exceeds your calorie expenditure, regardless of whether those calories come from carbs, fats, or proteins. What about insulin? Yes, insulin plays a role in nutrient storage, but it doesn't override the fundamental principle of energy balance. Even on a high-carb diet, if you're in a calorie deficit, your body will still burn fat for fuel. And let's look at some real-world examples. Many cultures around the world thrive on high-carb diets, and they have for centuries. The Japanese diet, for instance, is rich in rice and noodles, yet Japan has one of the lowest obesity rates globally. The Mediterranean diet, which includes plenty of whole grains, fruits, and legumes, all of these are carbs, is associated with long lifespans and metabolic health. So why do we hate carbs so much? The problem isn't the carbs. It's probably overconsumption of carbs, a sedentary lifestyle, and the use of ultra-processed foods that happen to have carbs. But guess what? They also tend to have lots of fat as well. Highly refined foods like pastries, chips, sugary sodas. Now, sugary sodas are just carbs or sugar, but they are low in fiber. They're packed with fats and sugars like the pastries I mentioned. And so you just get calorie overload. It's easy to overconsume highly palatable calorie-dense foods. Whereas whole food sources of carbs like potatoes, oats, beans, fruits, they are nutrient dense and they keep you full. And if you are lifting weights, listen up, you need carbs. Your muscles rely on glycogen, which comes from carbohydrates. And that is what fuels you during those intense training and lifting sessions. Low-carb diets often lead to fatigue, reduced performance, even hormone imbalances if taken too far. And you might be one of those commenting and saying, oh, but I've had great results on a low-carb diet. It's possible to have decent results, maybe even great results. For the vast majority of people, and based on human physiology, more carbs are going to be better if you have a performance-focused lifestyle where you lift and train to build strength and muscle. So, do carbs make you fat? No. Eating too many calories makes you fat. And if carbs are part of a balanced diet, they can actually help with your performance, your satiety, and of course, adherence to your nutrition plan because you're not cutting out a whole bunch of foods. All right, if you found this episode helpful, you might love my Nutrition 101 guide, which shows you how to set up your macros and calories and micros accordingly to hit your goals. It takes out all the guesswork. The link is in the show notes for my Nutrition 101 for Body Composition guide. And of course, always hit follow so you don't miss tomorrow's episode where we're exposing the truth behind the fat-adapted myth. Does your body really switch to burning more fat on a low-carb diet? Follow to find out.